Hey guys, what is up, and welcome to another mod video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Nerf Side Strike. Okay, so this is a project that I started over a year ago, I believe. If I remember correctly, it was last winter, and it is just a minimized side strike. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar, the side strike has a 2-dart holder at the bottom as well as a small tactical rail, and it normally looks like this. This is a painted one that I did a while ago. And then this is just a modified one that has that bottom section removed, and then it's replaced with 1/8" polycarbonate sheets cut to fit the blaster, and it's actually only glued to one side, so you can still open it, and then for painting and modifying and that sort of thing. So it's actually pretty neat. It's a very comfortable blaster, which is why I wanted to try to minimize one, just because I thought it would look cool. Now, because of the general nature of it looking like a real sidearm, I'm going to be painting it bright colors. I was thinking something like a yellow and silver, and then maybe some white thrown in there. And then I'm going to be keeping all of the orange pieces orange, just to aid in that sort of telling that it is not a real firearm. However, I would still be cautious with something like this in public, especially. Okay, so as I had mentioned before, this was something that I started last winter. Normally I don't paint things during winter, so this has already just had the shell work done, and that's pretty much the majority of this mod. In addition to that, it has the air restrictor removed. It still has the dart post, but the air restrictor itself has been removed. And then the hole has been plugged up so that it gets all the air to the dart rather than it leaving after a certain point. That's about it for internal mods. There's not a ton you could do with these. I could probably replace the spring, but I didn't have one. It's the same inner and outer diameter, and that would fit in this blaster. So that's unfortunate. However, it's mostly a cosmetic mod in this case. So one of the big things that I'm trying to do is improve the level of detail that I put into my blasters. That's one thing I believe that separates a lot of like good modders from like great modders, and that's definitely a big step, is just the attention to detail in a lot of the projects. So to aid with that, I've removed all of the logos, as you can see here, and then on the other side as well, and all of the like branding information that was like here and the warnings and whatnot, because that just takes away from the blaster itself. And if you're going to be modifying something, you should probably do your best to remove these sorts of things, because it just doesn't look very nice and takes away from the aesthetics of the blaster that you're putting a lot of time into anyway. Sorry about that. Another thing that I'm doing is removing all the patterning from the grip area. There's a small piece that goes into here, and then I'm going to be removing all of the gripping and then logo, as you can see in this case here. Here's the undone one. I already did this one. How I did that was I went over it with a few different grits of sandpaper, starting with a rough one, like about 80, and finishing with about a 400, just to give it a really nice, smooth finish, so that way when you paint it, you'd never be able to tell that it was originally textured. I had also mentioned before that I'm keeping some of the components orange in this build. Usually I do that with the trigger and other such things, and then the tip, obviously, just for functionality, because if pieces that move a lot tend to scratch paint off relatively easily, no matter how well you apply it, just due to the nature of movement and scratching. But basically I'm going to be keeping orange pieces in. However, I'm not going to be keeping them with this stock glossy texture, as you can see to the right. I'm going to be sanding it down, as for example the piece on the left. What that does is when I weather it, it just looks aged, as opposed to this really glossy new look for the right. When I'm going to be sanding all that off with a 400 grit sandpaper. And then after that, I'm just going to be weathering it a bit just to give it an aged look. And then it'll fit in more with the blaster while still keeping that orange color, which is nice, because a lot of times the orange it doesn't really blend well with colors when you paint. However, this is a technique that I've been using to just sort of aid in integrating orange into my paint jobs without making it look too out of place. Okay, so now that all of our pieces are sanded to my content, I'm going to be giving them a quick wash off. I'm going to dry them off, and then I'm going to go in for my black vinyl dye base coat on all of the painted pieces. Okay, so my black vinyl dye base coat is complete. There was one small imperfection, however I was able to sand that out. and now it's ready for primary coats of paint. Okay, so now all of the pieces have received their primary coat of paint, and they're pretty much the main color that they need to be. The only thing that really needs to be done is I'm probably going to do one more coat of silver on this guy just to touch up a few of the little splotches that I missed, as well as a yellow strip, which is going to be here. Normally that piece is removable, however it's glued into the one side of the shell, so I'm going to just have to do a tape off method. But after all the spray painting is done, then I can start with some hand painting for some details, and then dry brushing. Okay, so it's been raining a lot the past few days, and it's kind of messed up my painting schedule, but basically this is what the blaster looks like in a cleaned version. This was just done by a tape off method, and then doing different types of spray paint. And then this is what it looks like weathered. I've already weathered all the orange pieces. I'm kind of wishing that I had stuck with the cleaner look. I really, after seeing the two colors next to each other, I really like this. This piece was unfortunately done last, so I had already weathered this piece using a new technique where I used multiple different colors in different layers to sort of give it a really worn down, rustic look. And I think it came out pretty nice, but maybe for a future build I'll stick to some clean colors. I've been doing a lot of dry brushing in my past few builds, and maybe in the future I'll try something different and go back to more of a clean look. Overall, I'm very happy with how this blaster came out. It's very comfortable, it shoots very straight, and even the slide, which I was kind of worried about because of the base coat, the normal first coat of paint, the dry brushing, and then the clear coat, I was concerned that it would be kind of stiff on the pullback, but just by putting a bit of the usual Teflon silicone stuff that I usually use as a lubricant on the actual painted piece and in all of the moving parts of the slide, it makes it a very smooth, almost stock feel, which is great for the paint on here. Also, it'll really help to prevent the chipping, which is extremely nice. I'm also very happy with how the gap filling went. The two pieces of polycarbonate fit very well. On this side it's pretty much perfect, and then it's almost perfect on this side. I couldn't glue it to the shell obviously because then I couldn't open it, but I'm very happy with how that turned out. Here's a quick firing demonstration of the blaster. Anyway, I'm going to call this video a wrap. This is the second time I'm filming this outro just because it didn't record for some reason the first time. Like, it said it was recording, but the battery was kind of low on the camera, so I guess it just didn't record, which kind of stinks. I have to redo this, and then there's another project that I pretty much did. But now I have to refilm all those segments. Luckily, most of them can be undone, so I'm just going to take it apart and film it again. Kind of stinks, but whatever. Anyway, if you have any questions, comments, please leave them in the comment section down below. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.